Hi, so I'm back again with another paranormal vlog for you all. These are some more stories which have taken place in my parents' house again. I'm slowly working through all the stories I have written down. So the first story, sorry, I'm just looking in my notebook where I have everything written down. The first story I want to get into is one of the kind of more slightly negative experience I've had. Sorry. So I was in college, so yeah, a good few years ago now. But there was this one point, for a few weeks where for some reason there was just so much activity going on in the house. There was, I'd say, at least 3 different things in the house at once. My sister had moved out at this point, so her room was like unused, and there was definitely something in my room, something in my parents' room, and something that would just kind of wander the house and kind of hide and be really sneaky and kind of peek around corners and just be really kind of creepy, basically. So I'll get into the thing that was in my room, because this was, what I would experience on a daily basis. So, one day this all just kicked off, like the atmosphere in the house definitely changed. Everything seemed kind of darker and more kind of oppressive. So there was something in my room that it wasn't kind of evil, or it never tried to hurt me or anything like that. It was just kind of like an annoying presence that was kind of just a little bit menacing rather than kind of threatening. So the first kind of thing that happened after the kind of atmosphere in the whole house changed, especially in my room for me, because that's where I'd be most of the time. My boyfriend was round one day and we were sitting on my bed. Literally he was like here, like this close. We're just sitting on my bed. Had my bedroom door open, and my mum was downstairs. And we were talking, just about to go downstairs, and I, just turned to my left really quickly just to grab something from my bedside table. And, he thought I said something and I thought he said something. But there was definitely like a loud voice in between our heads that said something. I'm not too sure what the word was. It sounded like a bit of a swear word, but it kind of really emphasised on like SH, like shh, really loud, and then kind of said IT after that, yes word. That's what I thought it said, and that's what my boyfriend thought it said as well. So, I'd literally just turned, and so it sounded like something was really close. It sounded like someone had like leaned in between our heads and said the words. So I kind of laughed, and my boyfriend kind of laughed at the same time, and we both turned to look at each other and was like, what? Why did he say that? And he asked me that at the same time, and he said, I thought you'd kind of hurt your hand, or, seen something, I don't know. And I was like, oh, I thought you'd said that word for some reason. No, it did not sound like him at all, and it did not sound like me. It sounded like a kind of a softer male voice, but it was saying it in like a really mocking tone, but kind of almost like hissing the word. It was really strange, and we could not figure that out at all. So after that happened, you know, I kind of kept my mum updated on stuff that was happening, just because we can kind of talk to each other about stuff like that goes on, like paranormal kind of stuff. And she was telling me that there was kind of something similar in a room as well that wasn't particularly threatening, but kind of annoying and kind of menacing as well. And I don't think it was the same thing because, or it might have been, I don't know, but personally I don't think it was, because, you know, these things would, you know, they do different things, and they were always in the room. You know, the thing in my room was always in the room. Something in my, you know, my parents' room was always in there, and there was this something separate, something wandering around the house. So after me and my boyfriend heard this thing, every time I would be in bed trying to go to sleep, whether my boyfriend was there or not, more times than not it happened when I was on my own. But this was like almost all the time, and it went on for, you know, at least a couple of weeks or something. It probably seemed longer to me though, to be fair, just when, you know, something kind of bad is going on, obviously it's going to seem like it's forever. But anyway, when I was, you know, lying in bed, trying to go to sleep, whatever, I would hear a really kind of menacing voice. I don't remember anything kind of in particular it was saying. I don't think I can make out the words, like anything in particular it was saying. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I think there's like a bee in my kitchen and I can hear it like buzzing around. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, it would sound like it was right here next to me, because I had like a small double bed. So, you know, if my boyfriend was staying over, it would sound like something was in between us saying these things, and he heard it as well. You know, a couple of times. Sorry. You know, but when I was on my own, it sounded like someone was in the bed, like whispering, and kind of like taunting me, like it was kind of saying negative things or making fun of me. But it's really strange because I couldn't make out the words it was saying. It sounded like it was like mumbling, kind of nasty things about me. It was just making fun of me or something, and it would laugh as well, like in a kind of a mocking way. It would laugh at me. This totally sounds like I'm going crazy, and I was hearing evil voices. There's no, but no, my boyfriend heard it, and there was something similar going on with my mum as well. So I remember one day she texted me when I was in college, and she said she'd had enough, like, you know, this thing, especially downstairs, that was kind of hiding around corners, creeping up on her, and like peeking around doorways and stuff that she could always see in like corner of her eye, kind of, you know, making her feel really on edge and really jumpy and, you know, just really tense. So she'd had enough, so she lit white candles and you know, opened up all the doors and the windows, and also lit some incense as well, and kind of firmly told it where to go. You know, because these things, they weren't, you know, there's kind of a difference between, you know, something that's there, maybe trying to talk to you, get your attention or something, you know, and there's, you know, a difference between something that will, you know, purposefully try and, I don't know if it's purposefully because I don't fully understand it, but something that would try and like maybe hide from you, or, you know, kind of mock you, kind of try and like tease you, you know. and also the atmosphere was just, you know, bad. We've had little things happen that are quite good, you know, and there's definitely a difference. So it was kind of a bit of a telling off, like, okay, enough is enough, get out. And she texts me saying, you know, I shouted at this thing that was downstairs, creeping up on me the whole time, and you know, the atmosphere seems a little bit better now. And you know, she did the same in her room and my room. I'm really sorry, I've got such a tickly throat at the moment. It's probably why my voice might be a bit croaky as well. I'm really sorry. Yeah, so she did the same in my room, and she texts me saying, you know, it feels brighter in here. It feels kind of more airy. The air doesn't feel as like thick, and it's not so dark anymore. It's kind of definitely lighter and kind of a bit more happy, more kind of clearer. And I went home that evening, and it definitely was. The atmosphere definitely changed, and we kept that up. You know, the lighting white candles, telling things, maybe just leave us alone. You know, we're going to sleep now. This is my space. You know, my time. I just need to relax and rest, and that actually helped quite a bit. Definitely got rid of all the negative. You know, she got rid of all the negative in her room, and that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, this giant bumblebee just flew out the kitchen door. It was like hitting the wall. Okay, I'm really sorry. If you hear a buzzing, it's just this big bumblebee that's in my house. It's getting really kind of warm and a bit sunny where we are now, so we do kind of have a little group of bumblebees that hang out around the back of a house. We've checked, and they're not kind of making a nest in our house or anything. They just kind of hang out in the bushes, like kind of in between our house and next door. That's going to be really loud now. My cat's just followed it in. But yeah, so I don't know how we got in. But yeah, I know. Bumblebees everywhere. So yeah, if you hear that. Oh my god, so sorry. Oh, that made me jump. Anyway, back to Paranormal. I'm freaking myself out. This big bee just scared me. Yes, anyway. Next story. I'm sure I finished that one before the bee made me jump. I'm sorry, I'm just reading my notes again. There was a little yes, this was a, oh sorry, my cat's just trying to look for this bee. I'll save it and put it out the window in a minute. Yes, this was a more kind of positive thing that had happened. It was definitely around the same kind of time. I was still in college. There was just this period of a couple of years when I was in college that everything just kind of kicked off in that house. I really don't know why. But it was around Christmas time. We called this thing our Christmas fairy because it totally was. It was just a little, tiny little thing that was kind of moving stuff around the house. Anyway, back to where it all started. My mum thinks that her friend may have brought something into the house with her, or something just followed her into the house, because my mum's friend came round just for, you know, a cup of tea one day, and they were sitting down and on the sofa, which their sofa, there's like a big window behind, that's like the front of the house, and they have these like big heavy curtains, and obviously the curtains were open, and my mum kept seeing the curtain behind her friend like moving, like twitching, like someone behind the sofa had got it and was kind of tugging it. So my mum thought there's probably a cat behind the sofa that's messing around. And this went on for quite a while while they were talking, and it was really distracting my mum. So she was like, excuse me, hang on. So she kind of leant around the back of the sofa, looked behind all the curtains, looked on the windowsill behind the curtains, and no cat. They definitely would have seen the cat come in or out, because they would have had to come straight into the room and go behind the sofa, or come out and straight out. They would have known. So nothing there. So my mum was like, okay, whatever. There was no draft or anything, because it was like someone was physically tugging it, the curtain. My mum didn't tell me any of this because she didn't want to make me feel tense or on edge or anything like that. She'd just kind of keep little things like this to herself until I kind of discovered them, and then she'd be like, yeah, something's been in here for like a few days. I thought you might come across it one time or another. Thing is, this little thing was kind of, my mum described it as like a little tiny light, which is exactly what I saw, but I'll get onto that in a second. It was moving around the house, moving little things like making kind of curtains and like fabric and stuff twitch, and there was like no cats, no animals around, whatever it was. It was the same kind of movement, like something little had got the curtain or the fabric or something and was like tugging at it. I think my mum even said that something kind of tugged on her clothes, like a child would. I think she said that. The weird thing is that where my mum's friend lives, and in the same kind of area, and she goes for walks, walks her dog in this area, there used to be a children's hospital around there. So my mum's seen it, she's been around there for walks with her dog as well. There's kind of little ruins and also little tiny graves as well, like ruins of the old hospital for children, and little graves, obviously, if the children died in the hospital. I'm not too sure. It was kind of like a general kind of hospital for kids. So my mum personally thinks, it may have been a small child in the house. We don't know. That's the only explanation we could come up with, because it came in with her friends. Definitely started. She was there when it all started, so we think something might have just kind of, wandered in, followed her into our house. So what I saw after what I'm about to tell you happened is when I started seeing the little things moving, especially on the Christmas tree. It loved the Christmas tree, and where the Christmas tree always is in a corner in between like two walls. It's not near a window or anything that could cause a draft. It's not near a door that could open and close. It's kind of shielded by the walls, so it's right very in the corner. The cats, it's like a thin, tall Christmas tree that they have, and the cats are definitely, at that time and this time as well, too big to climb the tree, because initially when my mum first saw little things on the tree moving by themselves, she thought maybe it was a cat or something, but whenever she looked, no cat under the tree, in the tree, even though that would kind of be a bit impossible. Nothing that could really explain it. She would see ornaments, different ornaments, one at a time, move, like someone had just kind of poked them, tapped them. So, one ornament at a time would just be swinging on the tree, tinsel would rustle on its own, but just like one area. So it's like someone had grabbed a tiny bit of the tinsel and was tugging it, which was so strange. Like, you can't explain that. That's not the wind or anything. I can't really think of any other reason why it would do that other than maybe a draft or a wind or something like that. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't. So the first time I saw it, so I'm just keeping an eye on the time. I've been like talking for 20 minutes. I'll just say this really quickly. The first time I saw it, I was my boyfriend was round and my mum and dad. All three of them were downstairs in the living room watching TV. And I was upstairs in the spare room on the computer finishing off an essay. So if I was sitting down facing the computer at the desk. To my left there was a window and a windowsill, and right behind me, more on my right, is the door to come in. So I was just sitting there, nearly finished with my essay. I'd been up there for a little while. It was all quiet. I didn't have any music on or anything because I was just concentrating. It was all quiet upstairs. So I was typing away, and all of a sudden I saw a tiny light come from round the back of, like, round my right. It kind of swooped around. This was all really fast, by the way. It come round, like, in between me and the computer screen, right in front of my eyes, and shot straight into the window and made a sound like someone had thrown something against the window, like you tapped really hard on the glass. You know, like the sound, you know, maybe a big insect, like a bee, the bee's still over there, would, you know, hit the window like it's trying to get out, or maybe like a big fly, you know, when they hit the window to get out. That's what it sounded like. So it was a tiny white light, and it had like a thread of light coming off it, like a tiny shooting star. It was so cute and it was so pretty, and it come shooting round right in front of my eyes. I didn't have my glasses on at that point, by the way. I did not wear glasses, so it couldn't have been a reflection or anything. It was definitely not something on the computer screen, because I saw it come round my head. It shot right in between, straight into the window, made a noise like into the windows, the glass. And also there was a big plant on the windowsill. It was like a kind of a succulent cactus kind of plant, where it has really heavy hanging kind of cactus-like vines, and it hit the overhanging cactus vines and got shot straight into the window, and the cactus vines were still moving. So I just sat there staring at the window and the cactus vines. And by the way, it was dark outside, so it wasn't the sun or a reflection, or definitely not like a car light, because the window faced the back of the house, which just kind of looked over a field. There was a tiny road, but, you know, right down the bottom, so, you know, definitely no car lights. Cars don't very often go past there anyway. I'd never seen that before, never, in that house. And I was just staring at this plant until the plant stopped swinging, and I was like, oh my god, and I couldn't process it in my head. It's like, that was really strange. So I checked that the radiator underneath the windowsill was on, and it was off, because obviously sometimes heat rises, makes things move, like especially like paper and stuff. I checked the windows for a draft, nothing there. It wasn't windy outside or anything like that. I got really close to the cactus plant and like blew on it, like trying to make wind. It was so weird. I was trying to debunk everything I could think of. I was like blowing on the cactus plant, did not move because it was a really heavy cactus vine, like succulent plant. The only way I could make it move was if I hit it physically with my finger, if I hit it. And then it moved in exactly the same way. So I even tried kind of moving the whole plant, but it was just the one vine that was swinging. So if I like moved the whole plant would kind of shudder a little bit and not actually like swing. But it was only this one vine that was swinging right by the window, right where it hit the glass. So at that point I was like, I don't know, for some reason I just got a bit scared and I ran downstairs and I asked my boyfriend to come up with me just to say, oh, you know, I've finished my essay, can you just help me print it out? And he came upstairs and I was like, oh my god, and I told him and he was quite impressed and he kind of tried to make the plant move as well. Only if we hit it could we make it move. You know, the way that I saw it did. So that was kind of like exciting in a way, because I was like, oh, little Christmas fairy, it's here. So then after that, you know, I obviously told my mum because she said, oh, was everything okay? You kind of ran downstairs really suddenly. And I told her and she was like, yep, I thought that's what you saw because I knew it was in the house somewhere. I've been seeing it like all week. You know, I thought, and you know, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to, you know, make you think, you know, you were like always on the lookout for something to happen. So yeah, you know, we couldn't explain it, and then we felt bad because we thought maybe it was trying to get out of the window. That's why it hit the window. That's another thing I couldn't explain. Couldn't explain the noise it made when it hit the window. The only way I could make that noise was I hit the window with my finger. So strange. But you know, my mum had been seeing it all along, so I was like, oh, okay, so that explains it. And then after that I would see little things on the Christmas tree move and little twitching curtains and stuff, like I saw once or twice. Things move that I could not explain. And then one day it went. My mum texted me, I was at college again, and she said, it's gone. Like, I haven't seen it in a little while, and I hadn't either. Yeah, and it just gone. I think maybe it did want to get out, and, you know, maybe my mum maybe opened the patio doors for some reason, you know, let the dog out, whatever. Maybe it did get out. Maybe that's what it wanted to do, so... You know, it was nice while it stayed because it's a nice little Christmas story to tell. You know, that was just something that was around the house. So we just called the little Christmas fairy. It was just, I don't know, having a look. And it really liked the tree, which I thought was really sweet. So, yeah, so I was sad to see it go. But, you know, I'm glad it... You know, I also feel kind of bad. It probably wanted to get out, and we didn't, like, because, you know, we didn't have any of the doors open or anything because it was winter. Maybe it did want to get back out, but you know, obviously did in the end. It wanted to go, so it did. But I'm gonna stop there because it's coming up to half an hour, and I know all of my videos so far, I've only done like 3 or 4, have been quite long. It's just because I enjoy talking about my experiences and stuff, and I always enjoy watching the paranormal videos. I was watching a few this morning, that's why I was like, I should do another one, another paranormal vlog. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I've put in the link down below my Twitter and my Instagram accounts if you want to give me a follow on there just to check me out, do so. I'll be posting more paranormal videos, anything else you'd like to see, maybe any questions, anything like that you have, comment down below. I'll be checking my comments as often as I can. Obviously I'm only starting up, so no, I don't have too many yet, but hopefully. But yeah, you know, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll definitely be posting more paranormal vlogs and any other little vlogs I can kind of come up with. So yeah, thank you so much once again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.